reasons to doubt, try to keep me down, but I'll put the flame out. You can't get to me. Throw your sticks and your stones, go break all of my bones. You won't ache my soul, you can't get to me. And there is no barricade.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will show you guys how to crochet this bikini bottom. So I like doing my crochet projects before I do the videos so that I know that I'm doing the right thing for you guys, okay? And I know that it will be fine when you guys do it. So this bikini bottom here will be a size small, and you guys will be able to change how long you want the sides to be, because the sides is your waist and everyone has a different waist size, okay? So it will depend on yourself. So before starting with the tutorial, I do want to talk about each bikini bottom individually because they came out to be a little bit different, okay? I've used the same numbers of rows, the same numbers of stitches, the same numbers of chains, and they came out different because I've used different yarns, okay? So for the red one, I don't know the brand. I just had this yarn laying around my house and I found it, and then I decided to do a tutorial for you guys. And for the beige one, I do have the yarn that I've used. It is the Creations by Carbond, and it's the Urban Palette, okay? Double knit yarn, 100 grams, and the shade is 180078. So this is all the information I have. And it does ask for us to use a 4mm hook, and I didn't. I've used a 2mm hook, and it's also 100% acrylic, okay? And I think this one is 100% cotton. That's why it came out a little bit different. So the size for this one, for the beige one, came out to be a little bit low waist, and this one a little bit to the high waist size. As you guys can see, there is a little bit of a difference when you put them together. Maybe 2 fingers, yeah, 2 fingers different, okay? And the only thing that I've done different for both of them is that for this one, at the back here, I had to do more squares, and then for this one, I had only to do 3 rows of squares. So when you guys are doing this project or any other project on YouTube or even patterns, you need to always try on yourself, or just get a bikini that you like and then just follow the same size, okay? So even if they're different, they both fit me just perfect, as you guys saw in the video at the beginning. And hopefully I didn't upset you guys because they're both different, but you guys can see I've done 2 and both of them are different, and it's just a yarn, okay? I really hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, so let's get started. So the yarn that I'm using is the same that I did my crochet bikini top, which is already up on my channel if you guys want to go and check it out. So for this project I am using a 2mm hook. I'm also using scissors and fabric glue. To begin, we start with a slip knot. Now we can chain 10. Now we can hold this last stitch, and then we can chain 3 more chains. And then on that stitch that you're holding, you can create your first double crochet. Now you can continue doing double crochets until you get to the end of your chain. So now we're going to be doing 9 rows with only double crochets. So first you can chain 3. And you can turn. Not on the very first stitch, but on the second we can create a double crochet. And now you can continue with double crochets until you get to the end, okay? You guys want to make sure you get that very last stitch. So in total we have to do 9 rows, so I've done 2 already, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my 7 rows that I have to do, and then I'll come back. So I just finished my 9 rows, as you guys can see. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So first we're going to be working in the front of the bikini bottom, and then later we're going to go to the back, okay? So for the next 6 rows we're going to be working with increases. So first we need to chain 3, and then we turn, and then on the very first stitch, this one, we're going to be creating a double crochet, and then you're going to continue doing the double crochets until the end of this row, okay, until the end here. So when you get to your last stitch, you're going to be creating 2 double crochets, okay? So that's 1, and then another one on the same stitch. So we're creating the increase, okay? So for the next row we're going to be doing without the increase, okay? So you just go up 3 chains, and then you just continue doing the double crochets until the end of the row, okay, with no increase. Now I'm just on my last stitch, so here we've done a row with the increase on both sides, and then the next we've done without the increase. Now on the next one, which will be up here, we're gonna do with the increase, okay? So you guys will chain 3, and then turn, and then on the very first stitch you create your first double crochet, and then you continue doing double crochets until you get to the end of this row. So I'm now on my last stitch. So on this one we're gonna be creating 2 double crochets. So in total we have to do 6 rows with increase and 1 row with no increase. So I've done 3 already, so I need to do 3 more, okay? So we're gonna do 1 row with increase, 1 without the increase, 1 with increase, 1 without, 1 with, and 1 without, okay? So I'm gonna continue that and then I'll come back. Okay, so now I have finished all my 6 rows with increase and with a no increase. And my last row, there is no increase, okay, which is my number 6 row. So for the next rows, which we're gonna be doing 7, we're gonna be doing only with the increase, okay? So we're gonna be doing the same. So chain 3, turn, and on the very first stitch you will create your first double crochet, and then you will continue with the double crochet until you get to your last stitch. So I'm here on my last stitch, and on my last stitch I'm gonna be creating 2 double crochets, 1, 2, because that will create the increase. So in total we're going to be doing 7 rows with the increase. So I'm going to do off the camera the 6 rows that I have to do, and then I'll come back. So now I finished all my 7 rows with only the increase. So now in total we have 22 rows, 9 for the bottom with only double crochet, 6 for the middle with increase and no increase, and 7 for the top with only the increase, okay? So now we're gonna be doing the side of the bikini bottom. So for myself, I decided to do 20 chains, so I'm gonna be doing 20 chains for the side here. So that's 1, 2, 3, now you can go ahead and cut the remaining yarn, and then you want to fasten off. So on the other side you want to put the hook through this last stitch, and then you want to grab the yarn. You want to make a knot right here. So now you want to do the same that you did on the other side. So I am going to be chaining 20 for this side as well. After creating the chain on the other side, you want to hold that stitch in place, and then you want to chain 3 more, and then create a double crochet on that stitch that you're holding. So now you want to chain 2, and then you want to skip 2 stitches, and on the third you want to create another double crochet. And then on the next you create another double crochet. Now you can chain 2. Now you can skip 2 stitches, and then on the next you can create a double crochet like that. So we're going to be working in 2s, so we're going to be doing 2 double crochets, skipping 2 stitches, and then doing 2 more double crochets. So now you can repeat the same process until you get to the beginning of your bikini bottom, okay, right here. So I have 5 squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I got to the beginning of my bikini bottom here. So when you get to your last stitch and the beginning of the bikini bottom, and you want to create double crochets all over the top of your bikini bottom, okay? So you're just going to be following the stitches on your bikini bottom. So I finished all my double crochets on the top of my bikini bottom, as you guys can see. Now I'm just gonna be doing another double crochet on the chain, just on the first stitch here, so that it looks the same as the other side. As you guys can see, there is 1 extra here. So I want to do the same on this side as well. So now we're just gonna do the same as this side. So you just chain 2, and then you skip 2 stitches, and then on the next you create a double crochet, and then another one, then we chain 2, and then skip 2 stitches. On the next we create a double crochet, another one on the side, and then chain 2, skip 2 stitches. On the next we create 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then you just finish the row, okay? Okay, so I just finished doing my last double crochet. So I have 5 squares on each side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and same on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we are going to be doing the same as we did on this row, we're going to be doing on the next. So just to remember, you guys, that right here at the beginning we begin with a chain of 3 like that, and then we turn, and then we start from here, okay? Squares, double crochets, squares, the same as this row, okay? So as you guys can see, I finished my second row with the squares and the double crochets. So now we are going to be doing another row, but with only the squares. So now you can chain 3. we're just going to be doing the same process as we did for the side, and then we're going to be creating a double crochet right on the next stitch, and then chain 2, and then you're going to skip the square, which is 2 chains, and then on the other double crochets we're going to be creating another double crochet. Here we go, and then another one, which is 2 double crochets, and then chain 2, and then at the top of the double crochet we create 2 double crochets, one here and one on the other double crochet. So we're gonna continue doing that until we get to the last square here, okay? So I have finished all the side, so now we're just gonna be continue doing the same as we did for the side here, okay? So we're gonna be creating another double crochet so that we create 2. And you're gonna skip 2 stitches. On the next we will create a double crochet, and then on the next stitch another double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2 again, and then skip 2 stitches. On the next we will create a double crochet, and then on the next one a double crochet. So you're gonna do the same method all over the top of your bikini bottom, and then you're just gonna be doing the same as you did on the other side for this side as well. Okay, you're just gonna be following the same squares and the same double crochets. So I got to the end of the top of my bikini bottom, and I couldn't do 2 double crochets here because otherwise it would go just at the top of my square of this one. So what I'll do, I will create another double crochet on that same stitch, okay? So that we have 2 double crochets and then it looks all the same, okay? Now we're just gonna be continue doing the same as we did on the other side. Okay, so now the front is already completed. So now we can just fasten off right here, because we're gonna be starting doing the back. So you can just fasten off. For the back of the bikini bottom, we're gonna be doing different than the front. So I'm just gonna be starting on this side. Just put your hook through this last stitch here. Pull the yarn and make a knot. Now in the same stitch, you're gonna be starting with your chain. So we're gonna be doing a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. So now we're just gonna be doing double crochets, okay, all over this row. And also make sure you get that last stitch. So we are going to have the same numbers of double crochets that we did here at the beginning of the bikini bottom. So we have 11 here, so we have the same numbers at the top here, okay? So now we're going to be doing 2 rows more with only double crochets, okay? So I'm going to do that. So you always begin with a chain of 3 when you're doing double crochets, you turn, and then you continue doing all the double crochets until you get to the end here, and make sure you get that last stitch, okay? So I'm gonna do 1, 2 more. In total will be 3 rows, okay? So I just finished my 3 rows with double crochets, as you guys can see. So now we're going to be doing the same as we did on the front, but not as many rows, okay? So we're going to be doing 3 rows, 1 with increase, 1 without, and 1 with the increase, okay? So we chain 3, and then we turn, and on the very first stitch we create a double crochet, and then we continue with the double crochet until the end of the row. So I'm now on my last stitch. So on this one we're going to be creating 2 double crochets on that same stitch right here. So now we have finished the row with the increase. So now we're going to be doing 1 row without the increase and another one with the increase. Okay, so that will be 3 rows in total. So we're just going to be doing the same as we did. 3 chains, we turn, and then not on the very first but on the second, a double crochet, and then we're gonna continue the row until the end. Okay, so I just finished the row with only double crochets, so now I'm just gonna be doing the 3rd row here with the increase. So we chain 3, and then on the very first stitch we create a double crochet, and then we continue with the double crochet, and when you get to your last stitch you want to create 2 double crochets on the last stitch. So now we have the 3 rows with double crochets and 1 row with increase, 1 without, and 1 with. So from now on we're just going to be working with the increase, so we're not going to be doing increase and no increase, and we're going to be doing that for 11 rows more. Okay, so I'm just going to be doing this row here with you guys, the next one, and then you're going to continue until you get to your 11th row. Okay, so you're going to chain 3, and then on the very first stitch you create a double crochet, and then you will create a double crochet on every stitch until you get to your last stitch. So when you get to your last stitch you will create 2 double crochets right here. So now I'm gonna do the same as I did, okay, with the increase for 10 more rows, okay, and then I'll come back to show you guys what to do next. Okay, so as you guys can see, I finished my 11 rows for the back, and here's the front. And for the back we have the total of 17 rows, okay, starting from here and going up here. So we have 17 rows in total. So as you guys can see, the back of your bikini bottom will be a little bit bigger than the front, of course, because the front is always smaller. Because when you pull the back of your bikini bottom to the side, you can see that it covers 2 rows of squares already, okay? As you guys can see, it covers 2 rows of the squares here. So that gives me only 3 squares to do, okay? So you guys will need to check that out and try on yourselves and see how many squares you need to do for the front and how many squares you need to do for the back and things like that. Remember that you can adjust everything to yourselves. So I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start doing the design, okay? My yarn is on this side. So we are gonna be using the same method that we've used for the front. So now you can go back to the front of your bikini bottom and then you can count how many chains is for 3 squares, okay? But if you're doing 5, you know that is already 20 chains, so we don't need to count, okay? So I'm just gonna be counting for 3 squares. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 chains for my back, okay? Instead of 20. I'm gonna do 11 because we are gonna be doing an extra 3 chains so that we can begin, okay, the double crochet. So I'm gonna do that. So I'm doing 11 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Here we go. So we have 11 chains here. Now you can go ahead and cut the remaining yarn and fasten off. Now we can do the same on the other side. Now you can start your chain. So I'm going to be chaining 11 again. So as you guys can see, I have both of my 11 chains completed. So I'm just going to be doing the same as I did in the front of the bikini bottom. As you guys can see, I've showed you guys how to do already, so you guys can go ahead and do it by yourselves. So I just want to show you guys quickly that I finished my first row here. If you've done 3 squares as I've done here at the back, when you get to your last stitch, okay, this one, so you need to do another double crochet on that same stitch, okay, like that. And then you just continue as the normal pattern, because on this side we've done 11, but then we had the 3 chains here, so that covers as a double crochet, but then we don't have that extra here, okay, so that we need to do that last double crochet on the same stitch. Now you just continue the same pattern and everything. So now we're going to be working in the shell design, okay, all around the bikini. Okay, as you guys can see, it's already finished both sides now. First we're going to be doing some loops so that we can put this strap later. And then when we finish the loops, and then we go all around the bikini bottom on one side, and then we will do the little loops, and then we go all the way on the top, and then we go to the other side, and then we're gonna do the loops, and then all the other side with the shell design, and then we're gonna do the loops here, and then to finish all the bikini we're gonna do the shell on the top here as well. So for the loop on the sides you need to do 4 chains, so 1 2 3 4, and then you do a slip stitch right in the middle of this double crochet here, okay, right in the middle here. So you do a slip stitch right there, and then you do 4 more double crochets, and then you do another slip stitch on the second middle of those double crochet, like that. So we're just gonna be doing in the middle here the slip stitches, and then the last one again, so 1 2 3 4, and then right here on the bottom we are gonna be doing a slip stitch again, like that, so that we have 3 little loops for our strap, okay. So now we're gonna be doing the shell design. So now for the shell you do 3 chains, and then on that same stitch you create 2 double crochets, and then on the third stitch, so you count 1 2 3, on the third you create a slip stitch, and then now you do it again, so you do 3 chains, 1 2 3, and then on that same stitch you create 2 double crochets, and then on the third stitch, 1 2 3, you create a slip stitch, again 3 chains, and then on the same stitch you create 2 double crochets, and then on the third stitch you create your slip stitch, so 1 2 3 right here. So now for the side it will be the same, but the thing is that we don't have stitches, okay, on the sides, so you're just gonna be measuring with your eye. So you create 3 chains, and then on that same stitch you create 2 double crochets, and now you can just measure with your eye or with the hook where to place this shell, okay. Just gonna be placing it right here. So now you can just repeat the same process until you get to the other side here, okay? So as you guys can see, I just finished all the side with the shell design. So I'm right here now. So now we're gonna be doing the loops on the side here. So we chain 4. And then in the middle of the double crochets, right here, we create a slip stitch. And then we chain 4 again. Right here in the middle, we do another slip stitch. And then we chain 4 again. And then right in the end, we create another slip stitch. So for the top of the bikini bottom, so we're just going to be doing the same thing. So we chain 3. And on that same stitch, we create 2 double crochets. And then on the third stitch, we create a slip stitch. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So now again, we chain 3, and on that same stitch, we create 2 double crochets. And then on the third stitch, we create a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. Now you guys can continue the shell design all over the top of your bikini bottom. And then you guys can do the 3 loops on the side. And then you guys will continue with the shell design all in this side as well. And then right here too. And then on this side, you're also gonna do the loops, the 3 loops. And then at the top here, you guys will continue with the shell design. And then you guys will finish your last shell right on this stitch here. Okay, where we've done the first 3 loops. So I'm gonna do all the shell and the loops of the cameras, and then I'll come back to show you guys what to do next. Okay guys, so I finished all the shell design around my bikini bottom and also all the loops on the sides. So now you can just go ahead and cut the remaining yarn and then just fasten off. Before doing the straps, what I'll do, I'm just gonna be cutting all my yarns, and I'm just gonna be putting a little bit of fabric glue on the cut the yarn. And I just put a little bit of fabric glue on that cut. Now I'm just gonna be letting the glue dry, and then I'm just gonna be starting with my chains, because we're gonna do the straps now. So I am gonna be chaining 150 for my strap. So I'm gonna do the chain and then I'll come back. So now I finished my chain of 150, as you guys can see. So I'm just gonna go back with the slip stitches on my chain. So now I'm just gonna be finishing all my chain. And then when I finish this one, I'm just gonna be doing another one, because we need 2 straps for our bikini bottom, and this is one, and then I'll do another one. So when I come back, I'll have both of them completed. So I have both of my straps completed, as you guys can see. I just need to fasten off this one. And right here, I'm just gonna be making a knot. And then you can just cut the remaining yarn. So the glue is already dry, as you guys can see. I can't even see right here. And to finish it off your bikini bottom, you can just grab the strap and just pass through the little loops that we've created right here. You can just do the same on the other side. So now the bikini bottom is all completed, as you guys can see, with the straps and everything. It's really nice. I really like it. And it's also my first time using this hook, which is the 2mm hook, and I'm just in love because you guys can see how tight the stitches are. I never seen a hook do this. I never seen it. I never seen something like this. I don't know if it's just the yarn, but I've done the other bikini bottom as well with the 2mm hook, and it's just so good, guys. You need to get a 2mm hook. I'm serious. I'm serious. Look, I would recommend you guys to put a lining, but if you guys don't mind like showing just a little bit of skin, this is completely fine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this amazing and really cute bikini bottom, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!
Give me reasons to doubt, try to keep me down, but I'll put the flame out, you can't get to me. Throw your sticks and your stones, go break all of my bones. You won't ache my soul, you can't get to me.